Hey guys, happy new year. It's Sakina of My Brown Sparkles. Welcome back to my channel. um, I am doing this video today because I think it's really important. We are here in February, and as of posting this, it's probably February. I'm filming this early January. It's January 11th today as I film this, but I knew that I wanted to record this in preparation for Valentine's Day, and I wanted to share with you guys one of the books that I spent my December reading and falling in love with. Surprisingly, I wasn't expecting to fall in love with this story, but I definitely have, and I want to share that with you guys. So that's what this video will be about. It is a Valentine's themed Pride and Prejudice book review. All right, got my lavalier going so that y'all can hear me better. But aren't we excited? We're gonna talk about Pride and Prejudice. Okay. I want to start off by saying I never expected to actually like this book, story, whatever. And it all started with me watching the film. Let's be honest. Like, I don't know. I was bored. You know, December gets really slow. Things are bored. I'm bedridden, and I was like, let me find something to watch. Saw the Pride and Prejudice clips on YouTube, like little clips up, and I was like, ooh, this looks steamy. So I decided to watch the movie. It's on Amazon Prime, if you're wondering. And I watched it, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I love Keira Knightley, and I love period pieces. Like, I've always loved period pieces. So it was just a good genre of film to watch, and I really enjoyed the film. However, and I'm talking about the most recent version with Keira Knightley, and I think his name is Matthew. I forgot his last name. I'll pop it up on the screen. But I enjoyed the version. However, it was really short, and it left me wondering. Like, I feel like there's too many cracks in the story. Like, I could tell that there was something more to the story that they weren't able to show in that film because the film was quite short, and I just felt it was lacking in information. So I was like, let me dive deeper. And so I went down the Pride and Prejudice rabbit hole. So as I went down the Pride and Prejudice rabbit hole, I obviously saw that there was another version, an older version, with Colin Firth as the main male character, Mr. Darcy. And I didn't like Colin Firth. I don't think that he was attractive. Like, he didn't like catch my eye. I think the Matthew guy was more attractive, and I think that's why I wanted to watch that one. So I didn't even watch the Colin Firth one at first. But what I did decide to do, which I was reluctant to do, was to read the book. And I think I'm missing a step here. I'm sorry, guys. I actually started listening to the audiobook first, and then that led me to watch the movie with Keira Knightley, and then that led me to read the book. Because I didn't want to read the book at first. I was listening to the audiobook as I drove to work, because my commute right now is really ridiculous. It's like an hour. It's not an hour exactly. Some days it can be an hour depending on the traffic. But I was listening to the audiobook, and I was kind of getting into it. But audiobooks, like, my brain tends to go somewhere else. And a lot of times, if I don't have a physical book in hand, paper, I need something tactile in order to capture my attention. So I was like, let me watch the movie. And then as I watched the movie, I loved the movie so much. I was like, okay, let me continue listening to the audiobook. I was like, no, let me read the book. So I started reading the book, and you can get the free version you can get the free version if you have an iPhone. They have it in the bookstore. It's a free Pride and Prejudice book. You can download PDF or whatever in the books app. And then I don't know if I purchased the audiobook or if I got that for free or not, but I know for sure that the digital version, you can actually get that for free. So I started reading the actual book, and I was really enjoying it. But then, because it wasn't a paper, I was like, oh, this is annoying me. So I went back to audio, and I just made myself really focus. And I started getting really into the characters and just all of that. And you know what? I would say that Pride and Prejudice is it's the adult romance. It's the adult romance. I would say Twilight is like the teen romance, and even though I love Twilight, I watched the movie multiple times. I read the book series multiple times. But I would say Pride and Prejudice is for the adults because of the time period it was in. And you have to kind of do a little research to kind of understand a little bit about that time. And that led me down another rabbit hole. I started watching YouTube videos about what it was like living in Britain during the times where they were the times that they were living, and I'm gonna pop it up on the screen because I don't have that word at the top of my head. It was a specific era in British history where they lived the way that they lived, and this particular era, this new era in that age was a little bit more natural. The women were known for having more natural beauty, and not, they didn't wear the wigs, and things like that, and all the makeup they used to have to wear. And so that's one of the things that really stood out to me, because specifically because Elizabeth Bennet, she was considered the not so pretty. She wasn't handsome enough to tempt Mr. Darcy, but in the movie, I thought, I mean, obviously, Keira Knightley is always attractive. She's gorgeous. I think she's gorgeous. But I do think that in that particular film, the one with Keira Knightley, they did a good job of casting, because her sister, which was considered the more handsome sister, she was blonde, and I thought she was pretty. I thought she was prettier than Keira Knightley, and I think she gave off that innocence that they said that she had in the book. The way that she was described in the book, she definitely had those characteristics. So as not to spoil the book and the movie for anyone who has never watched Pride and Prejudice, this is considered a literary classic. It's a book by an author named Jane Austen, and Jane Austen has other stories that are very popular that have become films, called like Sense and Sensibility. But I would say Pride and Prejudice is probably her most popular. And if you go down the Pride and Prejudice rabbit hole, you'll see that there's a lot of people who love this book, who like the commentary, who like to research this era in the history of Europe. And I can see why. I can definitely see why. And I don't want to spoil the storyline for you, but I'll just give you a quick synopsis, just so you can just kind of reel you in. And that is that it's a story about these sisters. It's a family. I forgot how many sisters it is. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's like 5 sisters total, but it's a family of sisters, and the story really follows Elizabeth Bennet. She's the main protagonist in the story, and it follows her journey of falling in love, as well as the love story between her sister Jane, who inevitably is paired with Mr. Bingley. And you see the love story play out. You see the tension based on classism and all the classist systems that I think is very important. Our political climate today is really showing just how far we've fallen and how much we've regressed. And I think a lot of some of the content in the book is relative to today. I think a lot of people think we live in modern times, but people still move in the way that they did in those eras, where you had to marry into wealth, and you have to, maintain your assets and the bloodline and all that kind of stuff. And they're already choosing your husband the day you're born. They're already pairing you up with different cousins and things like that. In this time they were. And so that's why the story is so interesting, because you can kind of see the importance of marriage in that era, in those times, and in securing stability for women in particular, because women weren't allowed to inherit property. And so, very interesting story, very interesting history. I really enjoyed it. I think that you should totally read the book if you're looking for a great romance to just get you in that mood, in that lovey mood, because it definitely had me all in the feels, and I was just really loving it. And then go watch the movies. One of my goals for this particular new year is just to get off my phone more. So I'm making a lot of transitions with my content as well. As you can tell, I haven't been posting as much. However, I've created a content schedule for the year of 2026 that I think is very feasible for me to stick to. It's not something that's overly ambitious, but it's something that I do want to stick to. But it's also so that I can minimize the time that I spend on my phone, whether I'm filming content, whether I'm editing content, and of course, to stop scrolling on social media. I started a TikTok account and actually started posting on TikTok in 2025 as an experiment to kind of see how to grow a channel and what it was like, the platform is like. And that platform, guys, is so freaking addictive. I have been reading this other book that I won't name until I post that video, but it's all about, the addiction to social media and how much our cell phones have damaged the Generation Z and the possibly the upcoming generation, Gen Alpha. So I wanted to encourage you guys to pick up a book, read a really good book, and get you back into reading something and be more present in your day to day and take back your energy and your time. And that's why I'm actually doing these book reviews, because these are books that I have been spending my time reading, and I think that they are very beneficial to my mental well being and energetic well being. So I hope that in sharing this review, that you're actually inspired to start reading more and get off your phone and to start to feed your brain, because your brain cells are literally dying the more you are on social media scrolling and consuming content that is designed to keep you glued to your phone. Okay, so now that we've segued from off a little bit, we've got a little bit off topic, but um, needless to say, I went back after going down a rabbit hole and really reading the book and seeing how many pieces of information were left out of that film with Keira Knightley, the recent version of Pride and Prejudice. I was compelled to watch the Colin Firth version. Now, if you just want a good, quick love story and you just want to have that attraction and you want to feel that sexual tension, then you should watch the Keira Knightley version. But if you want to see some accuracy in the literature and the film, juxtaposing the two, then you want to go and watch the Colin Firth version, because that one's a lot more accurate and in alignment with the book. It has so many of the same themes and scenes that are left out in the newer version. So I did watch it and I actually did enjoy it, because I was like, I read so much of the book and now I want to see it played out, and they do a great job of playing it out. Now, in that version, I don't like the actress that they chose for Jane.
Very well together. Each of you so
definitely don't think that she was more attractive than the actress that they chose for Elizabeth Bennet. I definitely thought the woman who played Elizabeth Bennet was more attractive than the sister, but the standards of beauty during that time were very interesting. So it's all subjective. But it's just a great, overall, it's a great book. You should definitely read it. It's an easy read. And it's actually not as long as you think it would be. I watched, I was reading it. When I first started reading it, I was going through the chapters like, oh my God, this book is so long. I'm not going to ever be able to finish this, or I'm not going to want to finish it. Not that I can't read long books, but if it's not interesting, if I'm not into it, it'll be very difficult for me to read. But it wasn't hard at all, because it's very interesting. So, I'm glad that I went down the Pride and Prejudice rabbit hole, and I am encouraging you to do so for this Valentine's season. If not only to have a good romance to read and to take in, but to actually fuel your brain, get off your phone, and get into some books. We're going to get into some books in 2026, and I hope to bring more book reviews to you that you hopefully will be interested in reading yourself. But hopefully, if not, you can just inspire you to read more, because we need to get off our phone, guys. We need to keep our brains functioning. We need to keep our intellect. We need to keep learning. And that's something that reading has always done for me. I've always been a reader, and it has helped expand my vocabulary. It has helped it just makes me smarter. I have to research things that I don't understand. So I'm a big proponent, a big supporter of reading. And so we'll get into more book reviews in 2026. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for watching. My content centers around sustainable luxury. And sustainable luxury to me is living life in a way that is sustainable for your nervous system, sustainable for your current financial situation, but overall bringing quality. To me, luxury is quality, it is depth, it is richness of life. So we're going to be bringing more of that in 2026, and I hope you stick around for more. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.